right. All right. All right. Super Bowl 60 next Sunday. I'm filming this the weekend of the Pro Bowl games that absolutely zero individuals that care about sports and football will watch, and that no casual will watch. Casuals might watch it and have fun with it, but if you like football, you don't get two shits about the Pro Bowl games. So let's go ahead and look at Super Bowl 60. The Super Bowl 60 matchup, 6-0. The number ends in a zero, so that means it's like a marking of the end of a decade, the start of a decade. Super Bowl, you know. Who did you think was gonna make Super Bowl 60, right? Looking at the start of the season, do you think the Chiefs might have had a little bit of gas left? Maybe. Do you think the Bills finally break through? Does Lamar Jackson get there? Over in the NFC, do the Eagles go back to back? Can the Rams finally break through after losing by one play last year? Will the Packers with Micah Parsons make some miracle run? After all, Jordan Love is 27. That's the same age Brett Favre got his first Super Bowl. The same age that Aaron Rodgers got his first Super Bowl. Will the Lions finally break through after back-to-back years of heartbreak? Who's going to be representing the NFL on the biggest stage? Well, if you guessed any of those answers, you'd be wrong. You'd be totally wrong before the season started. And honestly, if you guessed some of those answers, even in the playoff bracket, you'd be totally wrong. The representative from the NFC this year is the number one seed Seattle Seahawks, who the last 2 years have been pretty good. They had a 10-7 season last year, missed the playoffs because of some seeding, right? And then they made the playoffs the year before under Mike McDonald's first year with Geno Smith, 11-6. So yeah, that's pretty good, right? At least I think that's how it went. I don't know if Mike McDonald was the head coach 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. My bad. I take back what I said. Mike McDonald's first year was last year when they went 10-7. I just remembered that he was the defensive coordinator when the Chiefs won in 23. Yeah. So this is Mike McDonald's second year. Had a good first year. They trade away DK Metcalf. They trade away Geno Smith. The Vikings decide we don't want to sign our quarterback who brought us to a 14-3 record and almost got us the 1 seed. We gave him no offensive line, and we don't want to bring him back for 2 years. So let's let him walk. We have 9 on the roster, so we should be pretty good. Seattle Seahawks say, yeah, we'll take Sam Darnold. And we have this young receiver by the name of Jackson Smith-Njigba, who, now that DK Metcalf has gone off to Steeler land to crash out and, punch fans, he can break out now. And, of course, since Mike McDonald's defensive coach, the defense is going to be pretty good. And you have a pretty good run game. They go ahead and get the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Seahawks do, and Sam Darnold plays pretty good, and Jackson Smith-Njigba becomes the best receiver in the NFL, and the defense has played good. I think statistically, they were number 1, 3 or 4 metrics. Solid, complete team. They win. They destroy the 49ers in their first playoff game at home, and beat the Rams in the second playoff game. You could argue the Rams should have won that if they had one or two plays left in their bag. But no, Seattle moves on to the Super Bowl. Complete team. Sam Darnold isn't seeing ghosts, so this is a pretty good team to represent the NFC. With the Eagles choking away their season pretty much before it started by promoting Ken Patullo. And the Bears having a sudden rise all the way from nowhere, and the Lions not being there because they lost Ben Johnson, head coach of the Bears. Seattle, it looked like this was a window for Seattle, and so they did make Super Bowl 60. So Seattle makes Super Bowl 60 right here. They are a complete team, pretty good team. To make this Super Bowl 60 matchup really good, big 6-0, right? Who's their opponent's gonna be? You have a lot of names to choose from in the AFC. You got the Broncos, who got the 1 seed this year because the Chiefs kind of died and they had one of the best defenses in the league. Or, hey, look, Josh Allen's there with the Bills. Maybe he can make the run this time. No Lamar, no Patrick Mahomes. Who's gonna make the big dance? Who's got it? I mean, you have Jacksonville, the hottest team in the NFL heading into the playoffs. 8 straight wins where they put belt to ass on both sides of the ball, damn near. Or maybe Houston's number 1 defense can finally carry mid C.J. Stroud to the Super Bowl. But none of those teams are going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year. The team that's going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year is the New England Patriots. Yes, not the Buffalo Bills. The New England Patriots. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Patriots. Why do you call them the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Patriots? Well, first of all, they had the first or the second. It's either one or two. Easiest schedule since the merger. There's no lie, statistically speaking. If you look at every team's schedule since the merger of the NFL and AFL, the Patriots have had the number 1 or 2 easiest schedules ever, which led to their 14. Was it 14-3 or 13-4? I think it was 14-3 record this year, winning them the AFC East. But if you thought, okay, you have the easiest schedule since the merger, you didn't really face real teams. When you get into the playoffs, you're going to face some real teams, and you're going to struggle and probably win your first home game because it's against the Chargers. Chargers, perennial letdown. Doesn't matter what they do. Though they got Mike McDaniel now. Maybe it does work out. But if you beat that, then you got to face the Texans or Jacksonville, and those are good teams, so you're going to just lose there. Good season, come back next year, dropping billions of dollars in free agency, and get a better team. No, ladies and gentlemen. The NFL script writers cooked up something nice. It all starts against the Chargers. Really defensive game. Neither offense is getting anything going. Justin Herbert's making mistakes. Drake May's fumbling, making mistakes, looking like shit. Not looking like Drake May. Looking more like Trent Dilfer May. But because the Chargers are the Chargers and their offense sucks, and Justin Herbert doesn't have 2 of his best linemen, and, what's his name? Jim Harbaugh decides to go for it. Early in the game, they don't convert after Drake May fumbles on the 10-yard line. Game ends, I think it was 16-3. It was 16-6. It was a depressing score. By the way, the worst game of the wild card weekend was that Patriots game. Every other wild card game pretty much came down to the wire, the last play. It was exciting. Besides that, Texans game was a little bit disappointing too. But Chargers Patriots was the worst wild card game of the weekend. They decide to choke. But that's fine. Patriots were supposed to beat that team anyways, but they were going to struggle. It's okay. Patriots, Texans. The Texans have the number one defense in the NFL. Number one. They have the number one defense in the NFL. It's a snow game. The conditions suck. Drake May fumbled the ball 4 times last week. Here comes CJ Stroud and them boys, right? Well, CJ Stroud doesn't have Nico Collins, his number one receiver. So that essentially means CJ Stroud's entire just toolkit as to what he can do as a quarterback gets cut in half. So what happens? CJ Stroud, starts the game. Defense doing the thing. He throws an interception. Bad pick. Okay, fine, that's fine. It's okay. But then he starts losing his tight end and he loses 2 linemen. And instead of, change up the game plan a little bit, CJ Stroud maybe not being as skilled, he decides to, the entire game, just throw interceptions, turn over the ball. Just throw interceptions left and right. He ended up with 4 picks. He should have thrown 5. Texans offense implodes. So what's the Patriots offense doing? Because, Texans offense implode. You think, okay, Texans offense implodes. This should be a blowout, right? If the Patriots are the same way they were in the regular season. Nope. The Patriots offense was even more anemic. Actually, no, I take that back. No. You can't be as bad as CJ Stroud. But they weren't good. Drake May still fumbling. Drake May fumbled the ball like 4 times. But 2 of those times, Texans defenders had physically touched it and couldn't get their hands on it. So the Patriots get lucky again. Long story short, I think the Patriots are up only by 2 possessions. But it's not like a 14-point possession. It's more like, I think, a 10-point possession, right? 2-possession game. Coming up the half, Texans are on a bit of a roll. They're getting back in the saddle. CJ Stroud, you threw 3 interceptions in the first half. It's fine, whatever. We got this. Texans number one defense. Let's make our first AFC championship game in team history, right? Texans against a fraudulent-ass team, right? Let's do it. We have the best defense in the league. Let's do it. And they're driving. I think at one point it's 21-16. They're driving. They're in Patriots territory, getting ready to take the lead late. Woody Marks decides, you know what, CJ Stroud, I want to share in your pain, man. If the game were to end right now, CJ Stroud, everyone's going to blame you for imploding. Everyone's going to, put all the blame and souls on you. So I want to share in your pain, brother. I'm going to go ahead and fumble the ball in Patriots territory too, so they can blame me as well for the reason why we lost this game. So Woody Marks decides to fumble. Patriots recover. Then it was just depressing to watch the rest of that game because you knew the Texans stood no chance after a while. CJ Stroud was making horrible decisions. Patriots sneak away to the AFC Championship with another fraudulent win. But before we talk about their AFC Championship opponent, we got to bring up the Bills-Broncos game. The potential list of opponents for the Patriots who have gotten lucky back-to-back weeks. Who are they? Well, it's either the Bills or the Broncos, right? Bills upset Jacksonville. Part of the formula as to why they got the Texans and a bad offense was Jacksonville choked against the Bills. Jacksonville goes into New England. They for surely lose. They don't have an offense that's absolutely dreadful. So, yeah. So, the Bills took care of that for them. But they got the Broncos. And the Broncos are winning the game like they should be because they're at home. And their team is better than the Bills. Josh Allen turns the ball over a lot. They're down big, but then they come back later and rally, and they tied the game, and Josh Allen's about to throw them into field goal range to go to Foxborough for the right to go to Super Bowl 60, and he throws an interception, which sealed basically their season. Because overtime happens, and yeah, the Broncos kick a field goal, and they're gonna go to the AFC Championship game. But the Patriots' luck charm doesn't end there. Not only does Josh Allen throw one of the most impressive interceptions I've seen by a defender, probably of all time. Like that literally was not Josh Allen's fault necessarily. Just the defender made a great play. The Broncos are celebrating AFC Championship game. Chiefs fans are salty. They're crying. They can't believe it. We're about to see Broncos Patriots. Actually, we don't know that yet. It's the Broncos going to the AFC Championship game. Everyone thinks it's going to be the Texans there too. Then it gets announced that Bo Nix broke his fucking ankle and will not be playing in the AFC Championship game and is out for the season. And the quarterback that's going to start for the Broncos in the AFC Championship game is a backup quarterback that hasn't thrown a pass in a year and a half. So the Patriots get this team on the road against a backup quarterback that hasn't thrown a pass in a year and a half. And, there was some hope for the Broncos because, listen, man, you're at home. If Sean Payton keeps the game plan simplified, it'll be good. But no. If you thought the Patriots' luck was over now, just wait. We get a good drive by Jared Stidham. He throws a good touchdown deep, and the Broncos go up 7-0. The Patriots defense doesn't do anything for much of the game so far, and so did the Broncos offense. I mean, that's all really Jared Stidham can do, but Jared Stidham ain't making that many mistakes so far. Then there's a decision, the worst decision of Sean Payton's entire coaching career. Sean Payton, seasoned coach, Super Bowl champion with Drew Brees, way back in the day. He knows situational football, right? He's not analytically driven like all these newer coaches because he was in an era where analytics weren't the end-all be-all, right? So when the ball's at around your 20, when you're up 7-0, and it's 4th and 1, and you have a backup quarterback in the AFC Championship game, what's the decision you should make? Any person watching should have said, kick the field goal to go up 10-0 because there's 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Meaning there's enough data there's enough time that has passed to give you enough data to know that this is a defensive game and that no one's really going to do much, so points are of vital essence. But no, Sean Payton with a backup quarterback in the biggest moment of his life goes for it. And the play call was even worse. The decision was bad, but the play call was even worse. Let's drop back with this backup quarterback against the Patriots fucking defense, whose front four is really good. They sack him. They turn over the ball. And wouldn't you know it, at that moment, I just knew. At that moment, I knew Sean Payton was going to cost his fucking team because he didn't take the points, just like other coaches didn't take the points. And what happened? That's exactly what happened. It was a boring as fuck game unless you were invested in it. Invested meaning you wanted the Patriots to win, you wanted the Broncos to win, or you wanted the Patriots to lose. And then a couple missed field goals in the bad weather, and then, the game goes late. Jared Stidham throws his interception that he was going to throw in the end of the game, inevitably. And Drake May kept the mistakes to a minimum, but still made mistakes. Also, Jared Stidham got us fumble 6 basically. But the game ends 10-7. So now the Patriots are going to go to Super Bowl 60 with the easiest schedule since the merger and the luckiest breaks I have ever seen a team have to go through of all time. Like, I'm being serious. This is a luckier run than the Eagles' 2022 Super Bowl run. I'm an Eagles fan, so I saw and witnessed the 2022 Eagles Super Bowl run. That was pretty Mickey Mouse. Our schedule was really easy. Not as easy as a Patriots schedule, but it was easy. And we get the first seed. The Giants upset the Vikings that year. And after that happens, that's who we got to play next. We destroy the Giants at home because clearly they don't deserve to be there. And we also had one of the best front fours of all time. We almost broke the single season sack record as a team. And then we face the Niners at home, and they don't have a quarterback for 3 quarters because Brock Purdy got hurt and their backup got hurt, and they didn't have anybody else. So automatically we were going to go to the Super Bowl. That was a pretty Mickey Mouse run. I'll give everybody that because it was. This Patriots run is even worse when you consider everything. When you consider how the Jaguars choked, so they didn't have to play them. When you consider C.J. Stroud's just going to throw every interception ever. When you consider Drake May's making every mistake known to man the first 2 games and gets away with it. When you consider that freaking the Broncos win, they're going to host the FC Championship game, their starting quarterback just tears their fucking leg. And then in the game, they're still down. The Patriots are still down in that game, but because the head coach decides not to take points in a defensive game, it costs him late. Like every single break imaginable in the history the Patriots have gotten so far. So matchup is Seahawks Patriots this year. A rematch. Last time these two met, the Seahawks were about to win the Super Bowl, and Pete Carroll decides not to run the ball with the number 1 running offense in the NFL, the best running back in the NFL, the best running quarterback in the NFL, on the 1-yard line for quarterbacks who need to win Super Bowl. Instead, he passes the ball for no reason. Malcolm Butler makes a great play. Patriots are Super Bowl champions, guys. Similar to how the Patriots have gone away with a lot of stuff this season. I'm not going to go into numbers here. This video was just setting up the stakes, the matchups, telling you what's happened in the playoff run so far for these teams. Mainly the Patriots because it's just disgusting. But look, it's simple. If you look at every stat, look at every metric, I'm pretty sure it points Seattle's way. Seattle has a better offense. Seattle has the best receiver. Seattle has the better quarterback so far in the playoffs, who's played in the playoffs. Seattle has the better defense. Now, Seattle is in the best defense the Patriots have gone up against in the last 3 weeks, but they have the better defense than the Patriots' defense. Every single possible metric in the history is pointing Seattle's way. So, in theory, the Patriots should stand no chance, right? Well, see, there's 2 questions, right? Will Sam Darnold see the ghost again and start fucking up for no reason? Or will the Patriots' luck run out? Those are the 2 things that we need to see. I think the Patriots' the luck run is over. If you really look at those last 3 games, they didn't face a competent offense. They faced really good defenses, but they didn't face a competent offense to complement that defense. So the mistakes they were making weren't getting punished. I'm telling you right now, if Drake May does these mistakes against the Seahawks, he's going to get punished for it. The Seahawks have a good running game. You saw what Kenneth Walker did to the Niners. Sam Darnold, as long as he doesn't see ghosts, has the number 1 receiver in the NFL right now to throw to, and Cooper Kupp, who's a good complementary piece. The Seahawks should, in theory, destroy the Patriots, and this shouldn't even be a game by halftime, just like it was last year. But I can't put my full faith in Seattle because I've seen the Patriots run this year, and I think the Patriots could win this game if Sam Darnold all of a sudden decides I'm gonna revert back to Jets Darnold and the dark side because they didn't want to be called the Legion of Boom, the dark side. All of a sudden, decides Drake May's gonna be Luke Skywalker and he's gonna blow up the Death Star. We're not gonna be able to fucking get fumbles we force. We're just gonna let these receivers that should be nowhere near a Super Bowl stage burn past our corners. Like that's the level of luck I'm talking about. Is Mike McDonald gonna go for it with 7 minutes left in the second quarter, up 7 in a defensive game, when the Patriots offense isn't gonna do anything? Is he gonna drop back with Sam Darnold on a 4th and 1 call, or is he gonna just kick the field goal to get points? See, I think because McDonald is a defensive coach, so I think he's going to take the points. My official pick is Seattle to win the Super Bowl. Early on in this playoff run, I said, look, Seattle, it wouldn't surprise me if they win the Super Bowl because they are low-key the most complete team out of everybody. I'm picking Seattle to win. I'm picking Seattle to win by 14 points. It could be much worse than that. What's going to frustrate me is if this game is closed in the fourth quarter. The reason why it's going to frustrate me is because chances are the reason why it's there is because Sam Darnold's been fucking up. And honestly, it all comes down to Sam Darnold. Will Sam Darnold make mistakes or not? It's all on Sam Darnold. Just like these last 2 games have been all on Sam Darnold. Not the last one, but not the Niners one, but the Rams one. It's all on Sam Darnold. He had the best game of his life. Super Bowl. It's all on Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold plays good, he doesn't even have to play great. If he plays good, Seahawks will win. If he plays like absolute shit, if he starts going down the mental rabbit hole that CJ Stroud went down with, CJ Stroud in the cold weather was thinking about Cancun, the warm beaches and shit. So he started to just throw interceptions for no reason. Then the Patriots will probably win this game. And that's a reality you don't want to be in if you're a football fan. Just saying. So yeah, comment down below if you stayed this far. Who do you think is winning Super Bowl 60? I got Seattle. But whatever luck ritual the Patriots did, maybe still got a little bit of juice left.